Do you own a restaurant or keeping an event? We can provide you with best raised quality chicken. Just call the number here. We deliver aisle and wide. Best quality chicken. Don't be late. Get your chicken now. On the live. Welcome back to On Scene Sports TV. My name is Coach Javon Parchment, and we are here with El Futuro boss, Kavi Mix. Yes, people.
Want people hear me properly today?
Yeah, man, them I hear, man.
Them always say them not hear me.
Swagger scene on the ball. They call it swagger scene. Big up yourself, are in the building. Omar Fowling. There's no crisis. We won both World Cup qualifiers to date. Yeah, that is true. That is true. We won them, yes. But wait till the coach get fired. Somebody say a red flag and cry for quick. Yeah? People, like, subscribe, and share to the content. When you come onto the platform, please to do that. Share it to as many people as possible. Let them know that we are live on the YouTube space. All right, people. It's important that you touch that like button. And also, if you want to contribute to the channel, you can do so by safe fans in the building, people. Yeah, man. One of the biggest and the baddest in Jamaica when it comes on to goalkeeping coaching. You understand me? Yeah, man. Doing a wonderful job at Waterhouse at St. George's College. One of the best in the business. People, check out him YouTube channel. You understand me? Safe fans the TV. They get all things. Now, like you see right now, we have Manning Cup come up and things. So coach, you can go there, go look and see what safe fans do and get some of the things then and put them on the coaching and work for the youth then and get them better. You understand me? I say nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. So people want to check in. Well, not check in. The title is World Cup Qualification Crisis. Reggae Boyz coaching failures and midfield weaknesses. You understand me? Yeah, man. You understand me? So, Copy Mix, World Cup Qualification Crisis. You think that is the problem why we have a coaching dilemma right now? We don't have any coach. I think that, although we won the two games, it may have caused the powers that be, to flinch a little and decide to move on and find somebody better. What's your take?
Well, my opinion let us be realistic. They will always say that a win is a win and a win is important, and that is true. But at the end of the day, Jamaica's style of play has to improve. We have to play this attractive brand of football, not a perfect type football, but it has to look good. And the matches that we played against these Caribbean teams, we just didn't look properly. We just didn't look like we understand our tactics and what we want with the ball, what we want when we don't have the ball. We just look out of place. And we won, but realistically, can we win the bigger games playing this way? I don't think so. And the JFF recognize it, and there is a problem between the JFF and the coach. The coach decided to leave. I don't know what is the finer details of that, but truth be told, the football needs improvement.
Yeah, indeed, the football needs improvement. People are checking in. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. So, Kavi Mix talk about the type of football we're playing. So, question though, do you see any improvement though while Grimson was there in his coaching? You see any improvement in terms of how the players operate and in terms of the database that he brought in? There were no database to look at players born in England but eligible to play for Jamaica. He talks about that and he talks about that the stage is set for the next coach to come in. Um,
With all said and done and
mm,
seen, his job is on the field.
mhm.
And no matter what he does off the field, if on the field is not at the level that it ought to be, there will be a problem. So let's give credit to where credit is due. He has done some things to improve the whole system of Jamaica football in terms of how to recruit and etc. But at the end of the day, the team was just not playing the way we want them to play. And that is the major issue. The major issue is just the on-field issues. That is the issue we have to talk about. Are you pleased with what we were doing on the field?
No, I'm definitely not pleased.
Because honestly, let us be realistic. Um, I've watched Jamaica play a number of times under Haldinson,
Mm-hmm.
and I have seen tactically people will say what give me the right to speak about the team in this regard. But common sense is common sense. The team plays very direct and hopeful balls. That's all they do. They play this ball around the back, boom, boom, boom. Then once they get it, they go this long ball over, and then they hope that this long ball will reach to the forwards. The second ball, we try the midfielders will pick it up, and we get a goal. But people figure that out. It used to work when it just start and no person start to understand what Jamaica is doing. Okay, once the press them, this long ball is going to come up. Now all of a sudden we get so defensive that our midfielders start playing very close to the
Backline.
back line. So the long balls become even useless.
Yeah, man. Ah, I think so based on what you're saying that you know because this coach came here with a track record of qualifying a team to the World Cup. Yeah.
Well, and we won't try to take that away from him, but what I'm going to say is that what he was doing with the team was not working here. And I think I'm wondering if he was the person who decided that this is the way the team is going to play, or other person. I'm wondering how much power did Hal Grimson have in relation to what the team does, who is in the selection pool. But that's a critical
Yeah,
issue.
but Mr. Meeks, if you go in the selection pool and you look at the other players, it kind of sticky because you don't really have a lot of ball anglers. One of our best ball anglers is not in the team. And the reason, and it still comes down to the coach. Why is Ravel Morrison not a part of the team?
Well, they say that
You
he
know,
doesn't have a club,
yeah, but
and there's
that comes from what? The technical committee or Al Grimson.
I really don't
Remember,
know.
Al Grimson is getting paid to what? Win, you know?
Win.
Anything that helps you to win. Once there's no damning reason that can cause problem for the national team, find a way to get him in the team. Huh?
Yeah, but I think that they
We soon
probably
reach that point because that is one of our biggest problem in midfield, and we have that here to discuss about the midfield. And we also have an analyst to come on the platform to talk about that. People who are joining the live, please to like, subscribe, and share. Remember that you can join the Unseen Sports TV family. You can also buy me a coffee if you want to support the stream. All right, the link will be in the description as well. Buy Unseen Sports TV a coffee, and you support Unseen Sports TV people. So let's look at so let's look at the crisis, the word crisis. Do you feel like we are in a crisis? We won the two games against some lesser team than us, Dominica Republic. Blessing Saudi Chris. Blessing Saudi Chris. Big up yourself. Beryl never did too bad. You understand me?
up
Tom
Charlie.
Stranger. Big up yourself, Tom Stranger. You know it go already. One love, one love. Yeah. So the word crisis, Kavi. You know, in terms of the game, we won the game. We got the 3 points as you said before. Um, but it seems like the fans are not happy of our performance, and a lot of people don't want to go to the World Cup, for World Cup sake. People want to go to the World Cup to perform and to compete. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's true. What the truth be told, based on what was being done, we just did not see that happening. Now there is going to be a transitional phase. The transitional phase will be based on who the JFF decide to hire, and that new coach will come with his own style of play. So it's going to boil down to the players. How quick will they adjust to the new style of play? I am hoping that Jamaica go for an elite top coach, an attacking type coach, a coach that believes in the balance between attack and defense, and not a coach that believes in this low block and this long ball style of play. But in the context of the whole thing, you'd have to think that maybe the possibilities are that the JFF would go for a coach who has that background, because the team over the years, for the past few years, has been playing that way. So they will be able to adjust quickly in that style of play. But I'm hoping that with the World Cup qualifiers here and with um, the qualification made a little bit easier because it is within our region and some teams automatically qualify. I think we can set this foundation now and get an attacking coach, a coach. I tend not to like an English coach because I think these English
So,
coaches
so,
are
so, so,
just
so, Ola. So for Paula, wouldn't be an English coach.
yes.
You don't like Paula
Don't
coaching.
don't but put it this way, Paul Hall, when Paul Hall was there, Paul Hall was trying to play this attacking type of football. Paul Hall was trying to play that attacking type of football. So I don't know if it's because the pressure was off. Jamaica was out of the World Cup campaign and there was no pressure there, so he was able to just play free and get the fans in. But generally, if you look at English style play, uh, I don't think that that type of football suits us. That's
So,
just an honest opinion. I
so,
think
so, so let me run through some of the comments. RR Swagger scene on the bar. Swagger scene. I mean, my cousin. Swagger scene. Omar Fowling. There's no crisis. We won both World Cup qualifiers today. That's true. You're right there. Check in. Safe and Stevie. All right, big up yourself. Blessings, Saudi Crest in the building. Yeah, man. Enough people are coming on the platform. Thanks again. Everybody will push out the stream. And the people that will come on and I put them on the group and so big up on yourself. I don't know how we grow. I will get better at what we're doing. Tom Stranger, big up Saudi boss. All right. Team aggressive in the building. Agree with you, sir. Mix. I agree with you.
well, I'm happy.
Yeah. Canada adjust well under the new coach. Sounds good. Yeah. Because they were quarterfinal in there or semi-final?
Yeah.
I think a semi-final. Who is your choice of coach? So reach us up. Mr.
But
Williams
but
is
but,
on the
but,
platform.
but before you say
Well,
anything, in address to Canada adjusting to a new coach,
mhm,
players can adjust to a new coach, but players takes different time.
mhm.
So a player can take say a 3 months, 4 months adjust, and then you have another set of player they take a year or even more.
That's true. That's
So
true.
it is going to boil down to the team, the players within the team, and the type of coach that we have. And I hope that this new coach comes with an open mind and select based on what he deems fit for his style. I would play his style and would keep him accountable to what is happening on the field. I just think what is happening on the field is the coach responsibility straight out.
Mashur Williams on the chat. Welcome to Unseen Sports TV.
Come on, blessings. Good night to the Unseen Sports family.
Yeah, man. And we got it again, you know. First question to you World Cup qualification crisis, Reggae Boys. Do you think that we are in any problem right now? While, we fired a coach, the style of play doesn't look good. We lost all 3 games in the Copa America. Our first 2 World Cup qualifiers were never look good, although we won those games. Can we continue to say that a win is a win? And then when we reach in the World Cup, we accept everything and we lose at that stage. What's your take on it?
All right, so I was listening to the analysis that was given just now by Coach Meeks, and I must say that I do concur with a lot of the points that he shared. Crisis is a word that I would not use to describe the current team because if you look at the quality players that we have, I do think that we have the quality to make it through work qualification successfully. Granted that we have a coach that is able to implement the sort of strategies that will best suit the nature of the players that we do have. Again, adding to what I think it was Coach Mick to what he said, what you have to understand is that there are different coaching philosophies. And not because a coach has a certain philosophy means that he's not able to coach. Because some of the most successful coaches that we have had in our generation, some has been man managers, some has been great coaches, some has been great defensive coaches, some have been great counter-attacking coaches, some have been possession-based coaches. So there are different styles and different ways to approach in a football game and being able to win a football game. No, ideally, what we would want and what we should have is a coach that understands the talent pool that we have, the nature of our players, and then try to implement a style that best suits the nature of our players. I think what we had in the last coach was that he had a certain philosophy. And similar to when you're teaching, similar to when you're driving, similar to when you're instructing, or when you're doing anything in life, there is a philosophy that guides what you do. And his philosophy was to take a more defensive approach and trying to see how he can probably defend as robustly as he can, and then trying to, if he can, get a goal or two, and then seeing it out. If you listen to most of his press conferences, you would have also overheard him saying that from an attacking standpoint, Jamaica has the ability to match up against any team internationally. He has always said it in most of his press conferences, which tells me that he believed that if he was defensively solid, then at some point throughout the game, he would get a chance or two to convert those chances. And as we all know as coaches, if you do not concede, there is a high probability of you being able to win that game. Is his philosophy wrong? It's hard to say that his philosophy is wrong. Because as I said, there are many coaches over time and history has proven that you can win by playing defensive football. So this narrative that his style of coaching does not
You
work.
can win a game.
It's not true. You can win by playing defensive football.
You can win a
The,
trophy playing defensive football.
of course, Jose Mourinho, one of the most successful coaches of our time. Most of his football at the different clubs have always been to
Hear
be
me go beat the
defensively
argument now.
solid
Hear me go
and
beat the
then
argument.
to win. But to be defensively solid, Coach Parchment, it doesn't mean that there isn't any sense of attacking output within your team. But it simply means that your team, your very best attribute, is predicated on being defensively robust. Mourinho did an interview, I think it was maybe 6 to 7 years ago, about the best team that he had and the best team that he coached. Many people think that it's the Real Madrid team, but he has often said that the best team that he has coached was the Inter Milan team that actually won the Champions League. And he has reiterated on many occasions that the reason that is because his team could defend in such a way. Throughout the Champions League, they hardly conceded any goal, and most of the games that they won, it wasn't because they had the best players on the team, but because defensively they were so compact, so diligent, and they had quality players to be able to defend as a unit and then being able to get that goal or two and being able to see it out. So as I said, there are different ways to coach a team. A defensive approach doesn't mean that it's not a philosophy that cannot work. It can work, but I think it's all about a matter of preference and then implementing the type of system and measure that best suits the type of players that you have.
Yeah, but you know, you talk about the Jose Mourinho thing, right? And you said Jose Mourinho is predominantly a defensive coach. You know, I said
Yeah,
I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is that almost when he's at Chelsea, when he was at Chelsea, almost every season him have a leading goal scorer
and
candidate.
and and I can help you out with that. When he was also at Chelsea, do you know that he also broke the tie record for the most points in the Premier League history?
The
Did
most
he
what?
get for the most points in Premier League history before Perry broke
Oh,
it? Mourinho
oh.
had it. He scored
So,
90. I think it was
so when
90.
you say he's a
No,
predominantly defensive
no.
coach,
I'm
when,
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help you out. How did he get it though? How did
Can
he
I
get it? Because his teams have always been defensively robust. As I've said, even though you defend with Coach Parchment, it doesn't mean that you're going to sit in a defensive shape for 90 minutes and not trying to play some sort of attacking football simply means that first preference, you're going to take a defensive approach to build your team defensively, to have your training regimen defensively, to have that solidity, and then trying to build on that. It doesn't mean you're going to park the bus. And for many people, they often say that Jose Mourinho parked the bus, but when does he do it? If he scores, I can tell you in the 70th to
Yeah,
80th
yeah,
minute, he's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
park the bus.
But I think the comparison between um the comparison between Jose Mourinho and Al Grimson's style are two different styles.
Can I say something? Let me say something. Um, First of all, let us I didn't highlight the point that whether you're an offensive attacking minded coach or a defensive minded coach, those two type of style has a place in the game. But when
They
you're a
do.
defensive type coach and you have absolutely no identity going forward, the difference with Jose Mourinho, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, is that
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho defends, but when he picks up the ball, the team know exactly what is going to happen
In attack.
I
in
agree.
attack.
I agree.
You have to
So they
stop
know.
them.
Yeah.
Jamaica, on my part, in my
Al
opinion,
Grimson.
Algrim, sir, we don't have no idea what we're going to do going forward. It's just
I
hoping and praying that we
yeah.
get an opportunity.
I agree. I agree with you, Coach Mix. And I'm not debunking anything that you guys have commented so far. I just wanted to push back a bit on the narrative that being a defensive coach does not have its merit because it does. I think in Coach Algrimson's case is that he relied too heavily on defensive solidity, but did not improve the team from an offensive standpoint and from a
Right.
transitioning from defensive line to the offensive line. So I think in his case, the team just didn't evolve. I think he placed too much emphasis on being defensively robust and not being able to evolve the team over the 2 years that you have actually had the position. So I do agree with both of you, but I just wanted to say that there is merit to playing defensively once you're able to create and to build your team with that solidity, but still have an identity to be able to transition through the defensive line, through the midfield, and having an attacking identity just the same. And I don't think the coach was able to do that successfully. And I think that is partly one of the reasons why he's no longer the head coach of the Jamaica national team. So valid points.
Yes, 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 yes. I understand where you're coming from, Mashore. But the comparison, we can say the defensive part, but I think Mourinho also I think he's a balanced coach, and he plays in blocks. So if him score 2 points, he might go
Low
defend.
block.
Let me
Yeah,
ask
man,
you a
low block.
question. Let me ask you a question. If Jose Mourinho was interested in Jamaica's job now, would you agree with that? Him becoming here?
What's the question? Are you asking if he would take the job?
Yeah, so for some strange reason, he's
Sir
just
Speed,
became
Sir Speed, get it.
interested. Just Speed become interested in Marina, and Marina become interested
The
in
problem.
Jamaica. Would you
Mhm.
support and say yes, that's a perfect match?
I think if you watch the interview that Jose Mourinho did for Fenerbahce in the summer, he said that he was in Turkey to win. So that's not a real
So what?
possibility. If you watch the interview that he did for Fenerbahce in the summer, remember that that's his new club team in Turkey. He
Mhm.
said that he is there to win in Turkey, so that's not a real possibility. So I don't know if that's a real possibility because there were some rumors in the Daily Mail that he was holding out for the Portugal job before he took the Fenerbahce job. So that's not a possibility. I don't think that he would take this job.
No, but you we're not speaking
And I don't think
hypothetically.
I
We're
don't
speaking
think we have
hypothetically.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
think,
financially we would be able to afford it either. So I don't think I think it's something for us not to discuss because it's not possible.
um
For me, I would think he would be a perfect fit. Because one, Jamaica defensive would be solid, and
Yeah,
offensive will have an identity going forward.
yeah. And with a coach like Jose Mourinho, what he will have is the track record. He will command the respect of the dressing room. He has the experience, and by default, he is able to motivate his team in such a way that you are going to go there with the self belief to think that you can, even if you are not of the talent even if you don't have the skills to measure up on equal ground with another team. But having such a superior coach, you're going to have that self belief, and that self belief can always give you an extra edge, and that could be the difference between 0-0, a 1-0, or a 2-1. So I think such a quality coach, with the experience, his track record, he has won a lot in international football, in club football rather. So I think that coach will definitely improve any team however long that he's there, because he has a way of building his team, selecting the players based on his philosophy, and then trying to improve his team based on his philosophy. And if it's one thing we cannot say, is that he doesn't have an identity, because he has stayed true over these years to his identity, and he has selected the players for that identity, and which is why he has been successful at the many clubs that he has been a part of.
Sir Mix, answer this question. The great one said that every job he is successful in, he always have an African player in the team. We don't have any African player in Jamaica team.
I think Mikel Antonio will suit Jose
Yeah, same. He's
Mourinho's
African.
style perfectly.
He's
That,
African.
yeah, that is not necessarily true, because all the players are of African heritage in our team.
Yeah, so
They are Africans.
anyways, let's
Let me
move away.
answer the question first before we move. Y'all think Jay can afford Marino?
We were speaking hypothetically. We were
Hold
realistically
on. But
talking about it.
realistically, what people don't know, and sometimes you have to listen to the old people in my world, that they say that. Come here, reason with some business people, some rich business people, them say some of the jobs, money is not the first gravitas, are the first thing that grab them. I mean, I talked to a millionaire, I talked about USA millionaire last night, right? And they must say the first thing is the money is not the first thing that grabs him to a project or whatever. It's about, you know, building the nation. Sometimes it's about helping a family and so on. And him say money always comes whenever you becomes that personal person who helps somebody in life. You understand
But
me?
some coaches will say that, but it all depends on where they are in life and whether or not they are ready for a new challenge. I don't think for a coach like Mourinho, he will take or make this decision, no, because in most of his interviews, he has said that he still thinks that he can coach at the highest level. No, there may be some coaches who may think that I want to do something exciting. I want a challenge, something to feel as though I belong. Because for many coaches, they after a certain period of time, they may lose interest in the sport, and they may need something to give them that extra drive to wake up in the morning to go on to that training pitch, and quite possibly taking on a new challenge in a new environment may help them to actually be involved in such an activity. But I don't think a coach of the pedigree of Mourinho, based on where he's now, would commit to accepting a job from a third world country in relation to our footballing standards and our history on the international scene. I don't think that he would. So, not something that is worth discussing, because not something that's going to happen.
Rob Smith, big up yourself, Rob Smith. You know, he's one. Mad scene and him side kicker is mad scene sidekick. Big up you both. Yeah man, drop something on the board, Rob Smith. I want you. You can't come on and say
All right,
thing there and drop
let me
something on
say
the
it.
board.
Let
Man.
me say it now. It is my view that when I look at Jamaica team, an offensive coach is best suited for Jamaica. When you look at people like Bailey, Gray, Whisper, um, who else of that elite level?
You
Um,
have
Bobby
Dixon.
Reed,
I think you
Dixon,
can put Bobby Reed, even Mikel Antonio as well. Plays at the top club.
Mikel Antonio. I think offensively that is where our strength is. So we need to get the team to be getting other teams backing up because they are fearful of what we can do to them.
Yeah.
More than we sitting and inviting persons to come at us. And eventually, as all games has proven when we play against a big team, once they will sit and wait, eventually they break us down.
Yeah, I think we have the ability and the talent in the players to be able to play a much more attractive brand of football. Also keep balance in our approach, which is very important. So it's not to go hell for leather, which is a term that you guys should both know as coaches, but it's to be balanced in our approach, to still be defensively solid, but to have an attacking identity, especially when we're playing in CONCACAF. Because if you look at the quality players that we have, and if you try to measure up versus the other teams in CONCACAF, barring USA and Canada, I think if you look at our strongest 11, I think we can compete against any other team in CONCACAF and also to be dominant. And to add to the point as well, Mexico no does not have the strongest team because their players, they don't have many players that are playing at the very highest level in Europe. They have Edson Alvarez, West Ham. They have a central midfielder in Porto, and that's about it. Most of
They have
those
a good
players,
league. They have a good. They have a good
most
domestic
of
league going on.
most of their players are playing in their national league. But if you look at some of the players that we have players that are playing week in, week out at some of the top clubs in England and also the second tier. That tells me that from a talent standpoint, we have the players to be able to compete at the CONCACAF level and to play much more attractive brand at CONCACAF level. And to prove that we should be able to play a much more attractive brand. If you look at Panama, Panama plays extremely well as a ball playing team. If you look at Panama's team and Panama's midfield, there's Carrasquilla that plays in the MLS. There is Barcenas that plays in the MLS. And there is another player, I don't remember the name, but it's, I think there are four across the midfield. But Carrasquilla really is a defensive midfielder and he runs the show. And if you look at how Panama plays, they keep the ball just as well as any team that you can view internationally. They have a system, they have an identity, and they have players who are able to play based on the philosophy of their coaches. And that tells me that if we do have a coach with a philosophy, one where we are still solid defensively, but with an attacking identity, based on the quality players that we have, we should be able to play a much more attractive brand of football. So, whichever coach that we do go for, I hope that he is knowledgeable, skilled, and talented enough to be able to have that balanced approach defensively and in an attacking sense as well.
Before we go over the coach failures part of the show. The question to you, Kevin Meeks and Mr. Williams, is do you guys think that this World Cup is easy for Jamaica to qualify, or it's harder than when we had three teams, top teams in it? Let me know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, but Mr. Meeks, you can go ahead first.
Remember that we host in the tournament, so Mexico and
We
United
host in the
States.
tournament.
CONCACAF, man.
CONCACAF.
Yes.
United. No Jamaica can have a field.
No, when I say we,
Yes,
I was
we,
speaking
I wonder.
in terms of CONCACAF.
Never.
So we have
national
automatic positions to the World Cup. So it's not.
automatic.
Yeah, the host nation don't get buy to the World Cup.
Say it properly so people know who and who. And we don't want to make it sound like, right.
Huh?
USA, Mexico, and Canada.
Canada,
Ghana
they have already qualified.
They are already qualified. Now you have two more position, right?
Yes.
Three.
You have
Three.
Three.
two
Three.
plus a player. Two
No.
qualified.
Oh, three.
No,
Yeah.
there is three, and there is a playoff in Oceania. So we could have as much as 7 teams from CONCACAF
So
in the World Cup.
Jamaica cannot make this World Cup. It better we pack up with things and stop playing football.
Yeah. To respond to the question that
Is it easy
to respond to the question that Coach Parchment asked.
Yes.
Is it easy? And Coach Hicks should know this. Coach Parchment should know this. Whenever you're on the field, playing in an international sense, with pride, with honor, listening to your national anthem, it's not going to be a walkover. It's not supposed to be a walkover. Every player, especially those that are native to their countries, they have that pride, that sense of dignity. They are going to wear their badges with honor, similar to we were to represent Jamaica as well. We are going to give every possible thing that we have within us. We're going to run, we're going to slide, we're going to tackle, we're going to cheat. We are going to do anything that we can to get that edge to win. So this idea that it's supposed to be easy or it's going to be easy, that's not a belief that we should have as analysts, as pundits, or as coaches, because we know that football is on the day and the team that turns up execute and fight, especially in World Cup qualifiers, it's grueling. Especially when you have to play in the Central American conditions, it's not going to be easy. So to say that or to suggest that it's going to be easy,
So
it's
we have,
not.
we have been
However,
very political. I think it should
I
be
have to.
easy. We
However,
have three big teams out.
however,
I
however,
think it
Mr.
should
Mix,
be
however,
easy
Mr. Mix,
unless we create our own problem. I
Crisis.
don't see any problem why we can't qualify and qualify
no,
in the top
no man.
three.
I was getting to that, Mr. Mix, but I just don't want anyone to say it's easy. No, let's
It is
compare it.
easy.
So
It's supposed to be
let's
easy.
come let's look at it from this way, and I think we can agree on this.
Mhm.
Of all the World Cup qualifying campaigns that we have had before, this is the easiest of all the campaigns. Am I correct
Yes.
there?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. However, football is still played on the day, so the players have to go out and win the games.
Right.
Yes, so that is the idea and the agenda that I would want to express to my audience, in that I don't want the players either to think that, this is easy, this is going to be a walkover, it's just Dominica, it's just Damrep. No, we want to approach it with the mindset that this is not easy, and we're going out there to divide and to conquer, to beat teams. This is the mindset I want the team to have, not to accept that this is easy, and if we cannot do this, then we're not. So no, go
Can I
go out there to win.
I was not advocating for the players to believe that it is easy and go nonchalantly and think then that all 3 points will just be presented to them because this
Yeah,
or that. What I was saying that based on the quality that we have at our
yeah,
disposal and the quality that we are going to go up against, excluding the top three from the top two, which is the Mexicans, the Americans. I personally think the Costa Rican team is a good team. I'm expecting them to be there, and the Panamanian team. But apart from those three, the Mexicans, the Americans, the Canadians,
right.
the Costa Ricans, and the Panamanians, which other team supposed to be there that we
Yeah, man.
can't
And
be?
Coach Mix, I agree
Guatemala.
with you, no Coach Mix. I agree
Guatemala
with you,
is
no
a
Coach
team
Mix.
we consistently over the
Yeah,
years.
man. Coach Mix, I agree with you, no. I agree with you, no. That's a
Guatemala.
very good point. Yeah, man. I agree with you with that point. In terms of the teams that are left available, because if you look at it, we have Panama, we have Costa Rica, we have Guatemala, there is El Salvador, there is Haiti. Those are the teams that we are competing against. And if you look at it player for player, we're much better than these teams in my view. Because I think personally that based on the players that we have, I think we have the third best team in CONCACAF. That's just my view. And it could be the second best team as well, depending on the coaches or the coach that we do have, the coaching staff, and whether or not the players are going to show that fight on the day. So, Coach Mix, I agree with you based on the talent pool that we have, because I personally think we have the second or the third best team in CONCACAF. So I think this remaining round that we have, I think we should make it through successfully. So the earlier question that Coach Parchment asked when he asked if it's crisis, I don't think that we're in a crisis mode. I think we'll navigate the World Cup qualifying successfully, and hopefully we can improve the brand of football as we go along.
So you know, people go ask, brand or win? A win is a win. Brand or win?
Again,
I want
again,
both.
again,
I want both.
again, Coach Parchment trying to find balance. If we can get that balance to still be defensively solid and then to have an attacking identity, I think I will take that while winning.
All right. Brain Jane, big up yourself. Thank you for that super chat on seeing the CEO. Yeah, man, Brain Jane. Man, from Calabar, you don't know the thing. Calabar with money cup in a Brain Jane. You know the thing. You understand? KC, I get beat up. A joke. Big up the KC people in here. Yeah, man. Run through the comment. But the people know so we're there. We're going to talk. We're going to drop them comments here. You understand me? Michael Woodburn said 3+ a playoff spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unseen Sports, respect to everyone in the chat. Brain Jane, what does coach think of Grimmy departure? We're going to talk about that now. The coaches feel apart. So you soon get the information there, Brain Jane. Big up yourself. Brain Jane said, easy part of glory. You understand me? Brain Jane, AI, you know. The man they talk, you know, man. The man they full of English. The man is a poet, you know. The man, you know. Suriname, if you ask, I'm not call a name but still. But I know we are talk brain drain. Suriname can't beat Jamaica, man. A years them a try.
Yeah, Suriname is an improving team. They're trying to get a lot of Dutch players, players with Dutch heritage. So they are
They
no
not a Dutch
cracking
team.
the.
No, go see
They
the
are no.
coach.
Yeah, man, and they're trying to see if they can pull
Remember right, a go see a big European coach.
big European coach.
Panama
Yeah.
can have beat Trinidad and Tobago.
And what they did, Coach Parchment, which is why they're getting the Eredivisie players now. It was a rule change that they had, I think, just about a year ago. Because before, they didn't allow players with dual citizenship to represent the national team. But they changed the policy last year, which is why so many Eredivisie players are now playing for Suriname. And there are talks that they're getting some more at the very top. So maybe in the next 2 3 years, those players who aren't able to make the Dutch team directly, that grew in the Eredivisie and now playing through Europe, we could possibly see a much improved Suriname team. And again, this is because of the recent policy change that they had. So they're getting quality players now.
2 3 years, they're not going to be in the World Cup, you know, because they're looking at players to help them to go there. So they will need those players now.
I think they have the ability to make the to play against one of the Oceania teams.
You
I
think
think
so?
they can make the
That means that the
Yeah,
mortgage
man.
make a problem then, man. Come here, look
No,
on Jamaica
man.
Cup third.
No, man. The playing coach Parchment, I think they can play for the playoff spot, the fourth spot. I don't think we'll have any challenge qualifying.
So we
But
think Jamaica, we think Jamaica go big.
I think as I said, I agree with Coach Meeks based on the quality players that we have. If we get a coach who maintains that defensive solidity and adds an attacking identity, I think we should navigate this World Cup qualifying campaign successfully. There may be hiccups, but I still do think that based on the talent that we have, the players, and if the supporters come to support as well, I think we should make it through.
Okay. Gunners boss, big up yourself, Gunners boss in the building, people. I have no doubt that Jamaica will make it to the World Cup. We we have one or two qualifiers, so it's a crisis. As a matter of fact, it will be a walk in the park for us. You hear them talk?
All right. That is, and this that was what I was trying to debunk
You hear them
earlier.
talk, you
This
know?
idea. No,
You
I
hear them
don't
talk?
like that.
Somebody else have to
No.
walk in the park because we struggle.
Coach Mix. No,
On the
this is why I
last
was
World
trying to be.
Cup qualifying match we
Coach,
played. When I tell
Coach
you we
Mix.
play one day if the match I go draw, how we look shaky.
So Coach Mix. Now you understand why I was giving a commentary as opposed to a view from a fan perspective. I think that is why we are here as pundits or as commentators to give a fair analysis. We don't want our feelings to drive our thoughts in relation to the sport. And I think that is what the comment just alluded to. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and I don't expect it to. Shouldn't be.
So the next question now to both of you guys and person in the comment section. What can cause a crisis for us in this World Cup qualification? What are some of the things that can happen to us? That is plaguing us over the years that cause our own demise when we want to go to the World Cup. Like competition before the World Cup will always look like we're gonna win or we're gonna go final, we look good, and then all of a sudden in the World Cup playoff or qualification games, we just defeat ourselves with off the field things and stuff like that. So I want you guys to give me some pointers that can cause that issue.
Well, for me, um, going forward, we need to decide on a coach. The longer we take to decide on a coach, it will affect us. We need to look at our team and we need to select a coach which will bring our strength forward. Two, I think the issue of our main players having this disagreement about treatment needs to be addressed because
Yeah.
Leon Bailey is the only player who will speak out, but I'm sure you have other players who probably not comfortable. So those issues needs to be dealt with. Three now, I think our selection of players need to be complementing
What
the
about
team.
scouting?
The scouting, they're selecting too many players of the same type. No, there's one player that I would personally love to see come into the team. Hutchinson. I think Hutchinson will offer something special, whether from the flank or through the middle.
And that's the thing.
The next issue is provide the team with that self of confidence, knowing that the JFF, the administration, everybody is behind the team, and whatever issues they have somebody who can help them to sort out these issues. We need to get those players not thinking about nothing else apart from just football, on the field issues. They fix the on the field issues, and administration fix administrative issues.
People want to hear Meek's controversial points.
No, I just speak the truth.
Ranger, no easy enough. Ranger, pick up yourself. Richard Green said, what crisis they are talking about? I'm asking the question. I just asked the question a while ago. Richard Green, you know?
I think what he's making reference to is me and some of these players that I think not good enough, and they are from England. I don't think they are good enough. I won't go down that road right now, but they should be sitting on the sideline or sitting in their house like me watching the television and talking because they're not good enough.
Richard Crawford, you know, you have some personal vendetta against this person. You know. Speed cannot move us forward and we disqualify us people. We will not wake up. What you have against speed? Drop in the comment section. We have against speed. Eh? We have against speed. Eh? Okay, you must have something against him, you know. Anyway, Sir Williams, your time.
All right. So most of what Coach Meek said, I agree with his points. I think he made some solid points. And I think to qualify for a World Cup, it's multi-layered. It takes many parties to be involved. And I think that to get the team to qualify for the World Cup, we all have a part to play. From an administration standpoint, their processes, there must be standardization. There must be protocols and policies in place to ensure that the team is always placed in the best position, whether logistically, whether in terms of playing in Jamaica, facilities, the playing field, even the infrastructure, having the lighting so the team can play in the evenings as opposed to playing in the sunshine, which is not good for the players, the heat rather. So I think from an administrative standpoint, they have a lot to play in terms of ensuring their systems as close as they can to first world. They try to improve where they can from a professionalism standpoint, a logistic standpoint, and trying to see how best they can provide the team. For the players, they have a part to play as well in terms of accepting the call up whenever they are called and giving their best to represent the badge with honor, with pride, and with dignity. And fans as well, Coach Parchment. We cannot ask the players to give their best, and we are not asking the very same of the fans. When Guatemala, Panama, the Central American teams are playing, when Mexico is playing, when the US is playing, their stadiums are jam packed 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. So I think as fans, I myself included, it's also our responsibility to show up, to pack the stands, and to cheer the team on and to give them more support as well. And the government as well, whatever support the government can play in terms of being flexible with the time, the scheduling, and even providing any assistance that they can give to the team, then I think that will help as well. So to get the team to qualify, I think all these parties must be involved and there must be that concerted effort and a commitment to that shared goal, that one identity to qualify. And if one of these parties are not directly invested, it could affect the campaign. But I don't think that heading into Nations League and then the second one of qualifying next year, that's a topic that we should spend much time and energy on. As I think it's important now to be positive, to try and secure a coach that will improve the team. Because the thing is, we are on 6 points. Guatemala is on 6 points. So crisis, no, we're not. But I definitely think that we need to improve. And I think that we will improve and we should be able to navigate the work qualifying successfully in that process.
Well said, Mashur Williams. One of the best YouTube analysts so far have, you know, introduced to this space. People take notes from Mr. Williams. So, Unseen Sports with his pointers that he thinks that can, you know, cause our demise. First one is lack of cohesion. You know, we always Lee and Billy talk about it and people feel like it's a joke. You know, this chopping and changing of players bringing in players. Me hear Craig Butler's son talk about. Me don't want to say the word now, like I know when people say me are the same thing still. But me I go say it. I was repeating. He talks about England reject. Him say it
Not
in a
not
way,
a, not a topic that we should spend much time and energy on.
huh?
Not a topic that I think we should spend much time and energy on.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying. But the lack
Yeah.
of cohesion, though, without sufficient team chemistry and coordination, Jamaica might struggle against more cohesive and experienced teams. Right? Cohesion is important. And when do we
Very important.
pull the plug and players coming into the team? When do we say that we are going to work with these players and this is where it stops?
No man, if it's one
Jamaica
thing you can
failed
give the
to do
coach,
that.
if it's one thing you can give the coach credit for, based on his 2 years tenure, the consistency in terms of the players that he did select. However, I think on far too many occasions there were too many defenders that were selected. But I think there's been so much of consistency in terms of the players that have been selected. However, I think in a general sense, a couple of key additions or other additions would have added and improved the quality of the team. But I think Coach Meeks probably has seen that observation as well in terms of that consistency, in terms of the players that we have chosen over the past year and a half, 2 years or so. I think he
The,
was
ne-
very consistent with that.
the, the next big problem that we face over the years is this: off the field distractions.
Yeah,
I tell
yeah,
you, off the field distraction. Issues such as
yeah, man.
administrative problems, contract
Yeah,
disputes, or other off the field distraction could affect the team's focus and
yeah,
morals. And this always give us problem. You know, say me have our friend come on the time, Ted. Right? Him always come on to the platform and thing and him said to me that, you know, off the field issues, when you go up on the field, you don't remember anything, you want to play ball. And I tend not to believe that. I believe that if you are thinking about certain things administratively as a player, when you go out on the field, you're not going to be comfortable to do your best. What's your take on that, mate?
It depends on the player. Some players will go on the field and forget everything, while some player it will just right. So it depends on the character of the
So
player.
may I ask you a question. Do you think that all those 11 players will forget
No,
everything?
you will have some who will struggle.
So isn't that an issue?
Yes, it's always going to be an issue.
Correct. You get what I'm saying, Mr. Williams?
yeah, man. That's
We
a
need a
fair point.
space where the players can focus on playing rather than focusing on off the field issue. And
And,
always our best players always the one that is targeted by these issues. Look,
and
man.
I think it's just a way of life as well. You know? Let's take it let's think about it from a life perspective. Then, Coach Parchman, you're working in the education system now, and if there are difficulties with your principal and with the school that you're working at, it's going to affect the culture within the school. There's going to be disunity. There will probably not be the brain. There will be contrarians, and it's not going to be a healthy environment. It's the same thing in terms of the team. For the team to be at its best, at its optimal level, you want the right sort of environment to be around the team from administrative standpoint, from the player standpoint as well, and there needs to be that professionalism. Because remember, you know, most of these players are playing for some of the biggest clubs in the world, and these clubs they adhere to professionalism. When I was in the States, and I played football in the States, and I was in the States. And when I did, I played for a team in North Carolina. I did for 2 years. Which part me didn't know that, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played, and the professionalism that I saw within the time when I was there. This was when I taught overseas coach partially because I taught overseas for 2 years as well. You know, when I was at SSTC, after I stopped lecturing, I taught overseas for 2 years and I played football overseas for 2 years in North Carolina. And during that time when I was playing, even though it was a non-league coach parchment, the professionalism that I saw from the players, I played for a Latin American team. So it was a team that was composed of mostly Mexicans and Panamanians, so Latin Americans. And the professionalism that I saw in terms of being on time, I can tell you, Coach Parchment, being on time, showing up for the scheduled meetings, being punctual, being diligent in terms of training session. I wasn't able to attend the training sessions because I had to teach and I didn't have that flexibility because I didn't have any car when I just traveled. But what I saw from a professionalism standpoint, it showed me and it gave me an idea as to the realities of a first world country. And remember, Coach Parchment, this was non-league. And you cannot compare this to some of the biggest teams in the world. And these players, they are used to that professionalism. So if they then have to resort to an environment that is just not professional, it can affect their mentality rather, and they'll probably not be encouraged to give their best. So I think it's important to, we won't be able to give them what they get at the club level. We just won't be able to. But trying to get as close as we possibly can to be professional, to stick to our words and our commitments, I think this will go a far way in improving the morale of the team and motivating the players to give their best while doing it.
Yeah. All right, we can go over now to coaching failures, and then we'll go with the last part would be the midfield weaknesses and how we can fix this and fix it. Oh boy! Again, big up everybody in the chat. Welcome to Unseen Sport TV. If you are new, join the family. If you want to contribute like Brain Jane with a $2 or more, you can hit the super sticker, super chat button over to the right there beside the smiley face. Somewhere right down there, if you're in USA, England, or Canada, or in Europe, you can contribute to the YouTube platform. All right, people? And also by super chat, buy me a coffee. Yeah, buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. All right, people? So, yeah, coaching failures. Who are some of the coaches that you think right now is best, willing to take the job and so on, in terms of the monetary part of it, can afford to pay them and stuff like that? Who are some of those coaches in your mind, Mr. Williams?
That's a tough question, Coach Parchment. A very tough question for a couple reasons. We have to find a coach first that we can afford. We have to find a coach who is going to command the respect of the dressing room, which is very, very important. Both of
Right.
you are coaches, so you know this. It's extremely important to have a coach that can command the respect from the dressing room. Is that a national coach? I don't know. Is that an international coach? I don't know. I don't have those answers. But what I will say though, whomever the JFF chooses to appoint, I think in the interview process that they're going to have, I think they need to craft their questions carefully. I think they need to have people on the panel who know the football inside of football and not an administrative standpoint. Because there may be an interview, and maybe the panelists on the panel are administrators, so they don't know what to look for or the questions to ask and the type of responses to yield. So I think they should get specialists as a part of the panel, phrase the questions properly so you can have an idea as to the ideas that the coach has for the team over a short-term period. What are your plans for the first 6 months? How will the team evolve from the first 6 months into the first year? How will the team then progress and maintain its current level after a year? What are the strategies in terms of player selection, player development strategies? These questions must be asked, and the right people must be on the panel to understand and to know what they're looking for. So I think that is going to be a question for whomever it is that is going to appoint that coach. They should know what they're looking for, have specialists conducting those interviews, and then trying to find the best fit based on the players that we have, the philosophy of the coach, and then trying to see how best we can improve based on the coach that was chosen. So I think that's my view in relation to the coaching selection and who is going to be appointed. So I think it should be a careful process.
Now let me take off this comment right here, because the people they want to see who is that down at the not saying that word, down below. It is. I am sure wrong sport. What is there? I don't see what is there though. Anyway, man is man in the building, people. Yeah, it's hard to get these type of people on these platforms, you know. You understand? And sports are big, you know. You want to go on the big platforms, you know. You understand? But anyway, always everything, man is man, you know, burial pass through and thing and so on. Everything is okay.
Yeah, man. Everything is okay. Everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just here passing through. You know,
And like,
have a little an RFM. So just passing through until we need to go back on. You understand? Because me hear you sending me message. Some Meeks a call me runner. Let me read what you say. And I say, what? Whoa, oh, me, my name getting a Meeks and running and thing. Um, uh, first me I get invitation to come and challenge Meeks. Me no know what and that. Meeks say you are runner. Me I say what? And him ready for me. Me I say what is this? What
war
is
is
this?
on, war is
I am unaware of all that.
on.
Oh, so you tell the mother send message. Good evening to all of the unseen sports fan, you know, the big coaches together, you know. Win under 13 and second in under 9, you know, 3 years running
No, it
semi-final,
was
finals and
14
all of
under
them
9.
things.
14
Eh?
under 9. 14 under 9. Fourth.
Fourth.
14 under 9.
In under 9. Oh, I thought you went to the finals.
No.
Okay, but
Half our team left
congratulations.
and go for it.
Migration issue for the under 9 was a problem.
Oh
Migration.
yeah. Congratulations, man. Big up to all the persons in the comment section and can't see the picture, but I know you have a next guest on. Greetings and salutations.
Mr. Williams, man. Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams. All right, blessings, sir.
So we finished, man, is man. We finished the World Cup qualification. We was asking a question about, you know, what are some of the things that can cause a crisis for us not to qualify for the World Cup, and also is it that, you know, this time around the qualification games and so on, not facing Mexico, USA, and Canada, is it easy for us or is it hard? That was the question. You can just, you know, jump in quickly and answer those two.
Nothing in life is easy. Nothing at all. You're a coach, you know that. Nothing. You could beat a team this week, and next week you play them. You have a 1-1 game because just in sports in general and life, nothing is easy. What I would say is that the opponents, given the fact that we were the last World Cup cycle, we ended up having 2 teams included that, based on how it should have been, they should not have. One of those 2 teams ended up qualifying for the World Cup. All right, which many people say, well, it was unfortunate, which would have been Canada, because remember it was supposed to be 6 and they increased it to 8 to get them, and I think they ended up adding, I think, El Salvador. All right,
Yes.
it was on Jamaica, but I think we had a good opportunity to qualify. But it's not easy for anybody. But football has changed globally. And like I've always said, the distance between the higher ranking team and the lower ranking team is not as wide as it used to be in 1998 or in the 80s or in the 70s. The gap is closing and all teams are competitive, but I'm still confident that every federation have their different issues. We are privy to the issues of Jamaica. And so when we speak many times, we speak like all other teams are perfect and Jamaica is laden with problems and therefore we are in a crisis. But all other teams that Jamaica will ever play are in the perfect ideal situation and they have no issues. We just don't know because we are not fair with the intricacies of their programs. So I will assume that many people and many teams have issues, and therefore we have to overcome the issues we have. And I don't feel like there is a crisis. I don't think we have ever failed because there's a crisis. I just think we have failed because we have issues administratively, issues with a pandemic. We have had issues with coaching stuff, and we have not sat down, which is customary for our culture. We don't sit down and discuss things.
We don't
Everybody
swat.
in Jamaica up in them feelings.
We
You
don't
come on
swat.
this program and a man don't like your views, them get up in your feelings, they go somewhere else, and them talk about it. They don't talk to you. It is a cultural thing that needs to change until we can learn to sit down and fix the issues that we have. We're gonna continue to have these things. These conditions are not just a footballing issue. There's a reason why our track and field have same selection issues and coaching issues and surface issues and availability of equipment issues. It happens in track and field. That is
True,
why
true.
track and field. The only difference is that track and field we get individual medals. So the individual medals cover many of the things. It happens in our cricket. We produce Chris Gayle and them things. But look at Sabina Park. Look at the cricketing infrastructure. Which proper cricket ground is in Jamaica? Which proper cricketer? So every area in Jamaica is going through the same thing like football. Everyone, every sporting discipline. Look at netball. How much professional netballers we have, and they don't get paid. So at the end of the day, it boils down to this. Will we, the people, the fans, the administrators, the players, sit down and say, listen, we need to sit down, fix what we can fix so we can make this happen. Until that happens, man, it's going to be conversation after conversation, failures after failures in almost everything. And that is why your stocks in track and field declining, in cricket declining, in football declining, in all the sporting discipline, because we have not learned as a people how to sit down and have meaningful conversation without getting either disrespectful or up in our feelings. And that is my assessment of where things are at.
Okay. Coach Mix, you have anything to say about that?
No,
Nice one.
I can agree with what management is saying. I think many persons read it from an emotional perspective. They don't read it from an objective perspective, and that's a major issue. I think Jamaica is in a position where we try to do so many sports, we participate in so many things, but financially we don't have that backings, and it's really affecting because you need money to really structure a proper successful sporting federation. And if we don't have that to expose players at the younger level to go at the international level and start to play, we'll always have it. We'll be depending on for the football, depending on England. But then there's a little light at the end of the tunnel because when you look at say a netball, you realize that Jamaica has been able to produce high quality netballers for years and we managed to compete at the international level. So there's a little light. I think there's some things that are happening that going wrong in JFF which doesn't need money to fix. It just needs common sense and it just needs individual to take their emotions out and think about the bigger picture. And those are the little issues that we're talking about, not the money issues. We know that money is an issue and we accept that, but we can't use other little issues and justify the big one. More money, this money, that. That's just a major issue.
All right. Next point, management. We were on coaching failures, all right? Coaching failures, and I asked Mr. Williams what's his take on what type of coach Jamaica should look for now. Um, based on the fact that a lot of people did not like the style of play from Coach Almir Al Grimson. Um, I would say this: he changed a lot of things in the landscape of football in the international scheme with Jamaica and the JFF and so on. He bring across a professional um, thing towards everything, in terms of the database and him set the thing. In terms, when you look at his statistics, he has done well, right? But when it comes on to beating the bigger teams in CONCACAF and going out and beating the bigger teams in Cannibal and so on, we fail in that aspect. And our first two World Cup qualifying games, we did not look the best. But a win is a win. A win is a win, and people would always say that. But I think the performance, cause some persons, the powers that be, to really look at and say, hey, they don't want to fall down into that trap. So what's your take? Who you think is the right man now? Who you think that can be a candidate or who should take this team further?
No, I don't have. I can speak. What I can speak to is what I've seen. What I'll say is that Coach Al Grimson had a draw with Mexico in Mexico. All right. That's one of his first game. Bobby Reed and Shamar Nicholson. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, man. I
Nations
remember.
League. All right. That's Mexico away had a draw. I think that was a good result against one of the top teams in CONCACAF. Coach Al Grimson beat Panama in the Nations League. I think that is a good result. Coach Al Grimson played USA in Gold Cup, and the game ended 1-1. Leon Bailey missed a penalty. Now people are going to say, "Oh, it was a USA F team." It don't matter because if they have defeated us, you'd have criticized the coach. So the Jamaica team with lesser players, lesser quality players, played the USA also in the semifinals of the Nation League under Coach Al Grimson. And except for the late, what you call heroics, and the own goal by Corey Burke in the dying moments of time added on, Jamaica could have walked away from that game with a 1-0 win. So when it comes on to our play in CONCACAF, people have touted like Dominica Republic. We defeated them. Could have been two. Bobby Reed missed a penalty. All right. So the first thing I want to say is to say that he hasn't had the best results against the top teams in CONCACAF. I don't think that is a fair assessment. The teams that have he defeated Canada. Canada defeated us in Jamaica. We defeated Canada away. So in terms of that, I don't agree with. What we can say is that how the team looked in executing the result, with some of us don't like the play. Some of us don't like the way the team play. All right, which is understandable because I think Jamaicans, as far as I know, Jamaicans has always wanted a type of football that I've never seen play in Jamaica yet. They want this keep ball and knock it around and make other team can't touch the ball. And I can't remember in the history of our football, in competitive football, when we were that team. And I've watched a lot of football. So the first thing I'd say to myself is, are we believing that we can be something that we are not? So give me a team that plays quality football, and when they play against the best opponent, that quality that you're looking for shines through. That is not a consistent thing in Jamaica. And I think when people talk about it, a lot of them go to like a St. George's team back in the days about how they're playing, or they go to the Clarendon College team. Some of those same players who transition from those teams, when they go into other spaces and environment, you wonder if them know how to play football. So my point is, I think the coach was building something, and that is he had created an organized defense, structured defense, eliminated one of the major problems we were having, which is most of our goals during the time of Top and Paul Hall were being conceded from balls coming across. You remember Mexico did that in the World Cup qualifier, Costa Rica, El
El
Salvador,
Salvador, yeah.
Panama. All the teams who scored on us in our World Cup qualifiers scored from balls coming across, what they call crosses, all right? Some people
Crosses.
call it square, whatever you want.
Squares
Call
out
it, right?
of it. It's crosses, right?
Yeah, some people still use that older term. We can use that. Since he has come, a lot of the goals that we have conceded not even from set play, not even from corners, but in open play, where we are chasing the game at the latter stages of the game. In fact, one of the big discussion going into Copa is that we needed to deal with the issue of teams scoring at us at the latter stages because the team looks so solid defensively. All right? Now, could the coach have done things differently? In retrospect, you can look, maybe you could have tried this person, did that, and gotten different result. All right. But he was doing this with clear admittance from him and members of the team that one of the key personnel in playing and transitioning your play is your CDM. The team in the leadership of Al Grimson has really tried to, I think, to create a player who can at least fill the gap until he found the player that would be able to do the job. Unfortunately, he left before that player was found. And so as a coach, I think he takes responsibility for that. But until you can find most teams who are able to do this, what's the name of the team? Ecuador has a Caicedo. You look at Bruno Guimaraes, at Enzo Fernandez. You look at these players. You look at even an older Tony Cruz. You look at the Luka Madrid. You look at Kante or Camavinga. A lot of these teams have work. England, Declan Rice, uh, Valverde of Uruguay. There is no name in Jamaica's football. You look at even Adams and these guys in the USA. The truth is, there is no present name like that in Jamaica's football right now that the coach could have tapped into to plug into that space. So he was always using makeshift in that position. And
So
like I said, yeah,
I
you
don't
can
want
see
to
it.
call any name. Karai Anderson isn't a CDM or what's his original
All right.
position?
So let's I want to give you this. He's a CDM.
Okay.
All right. What have you and this is an honest question I ask people.
Right.
Because what people are saying is that we should have experimented with him because you have not seen enough of him in the position against quality opponent to say that he would have done a better job. What we will be saying is that, listen, just try somebody else, which is true, you could try somebody else, but that don't mean it would have worked because he had a full 45 minutes and it never made a significant difference because he's a younger player who needs time to develop. What kind of games do you put him in to develop him? I think he being in the squad, which is what he has said publicly, that he's growing and he's learning. And I think sometimes we ignore what the players say. I hear people say like Bobby Reed because he played there. Bobby Reed listened to the interview when the players talk about, when people ask him about his role playing that. Because many people were complaining about his ball possession. Though he was doing that good, I believe, many people still complain. So we have to
Which one
ask
of the games? Which one of the games are you talking
any
about?
one of the games that he played in there, you can look in the Copa. Same thing with KC Palmer. People ask, how many tackles is KC Palmer a CDM? Is Bobby Reed a CDM?
No,
How
KC
many
Palmer is a
tackles
CDM.
do them? Because you are a coach, Mix is a coach. Tell me, if one of the key functions as a CDM is to be a screen for your defense, for your backline. Isn't that so? Your CDM
That's a
also,
one aspect. That is one aspect.
exactly one aspect, but it's a very important aspect because if you have a CDM who doesn't screen your backline, in other words, this person is the guardian of your defensive principle. If your CDM is out of position, it means your entire midfield is in problems.
That's true.
And I think, let's be honest, is Bobby Reed that kind of a player?
No. But man is man, who put him into that situation?
Let me ask you something, Amarillo. I can recall, I don't remember exactly. I can recall the conversation, but the date I can't recall. I recall there was a big excitement and joy and it was stated that this individual will come and solve our deemed problem. That is Russell. That is what, and there was a hard work to recruit him, and they finally got him, and all these things, and swallow and so forth. And then once they got him, it's like, in my opinion, I did not see this player get the opportunity to grow in the position.
And he played well.
No, I am saying if everybody was running down this individual and I'm saying that this individual will assist and improve Jamaica midfield. But when the individual came, it's like a fight for him to even get an opportunity. And I'm saying, I don't understand it. You would say you take an individual who plays that role and he's the future of the mid, but then you decide to use makeshift players to play that role and then you try to justify it. Madness! That is my view.
All right,
That's
see,
why
all
I
right,
will
so
always bash it because you guys
okay.
want him and he did not play. Why is that, man? Is man?
When I say, all right, please, sir. When you go make statement, you have to know what you when I say these guys, you have to say you have to be careful now because when you say these guys, you're making reference to me. I have never recruited. Listen, I don't recruit players for the senior team, boss. I don't. I never
Maybe I
I
get
never
caught
got.
up in the emotions and drag
Oh,
words with.
all right. So
But
let me say this:
try understand
every
what I
player,
try to say, man.
when I listen, when I listen, when I listen to social media, every player that is out there is a solution, is a solution, and the savior in the position until they play. All right. So remember, Dishy and Bernard was the savior that is coming. Lati Bodier was the savior that is coming. Casey Palmer, the savior that is coming. Kevin Stewart, the savior that is coming. Anthony Grant, the savior that is coming. Jonathan Russell, the savior that is coming. Every time a player is going to come into the Jamaica team, the fan base says, yes, this is the person who is going to save us. This is, listen, it's the same thing. Mason Greenwood is the new savior. Lewis Baker is a savior. And they will go on and call names on top of names on top of names on top of names. Football is not like that, my brothers. And so when people say these things, a lot of it must be taken as just fans being excited. But when you break things down, at the end of the day, when a coach sees a player, a coach must have his reasons for not selecting a player. If unseen, you have a team. I believe my son is better than some of the players you have in your team. Me believe that. You don't believe that. You don't pick him. Does that make you an idiot?
No.
At the end of the year, you are the coach. So why, if a coach have many reasons, you put my son?
Hold on, management. Let me put a context to this. Management,
Yeah.
let me put a context to this. Now, if go back to the same scenario what you use.
Yeah.
You believe your son is better than players that and the coach don't pick him.
Yeah.
However, if the coach recruited your son and hunt you down day and night in your skin and you finally give in and say, okay, you send him. And when you send your son, the coach don't pick him after a time. That coach is an idiot.
No, but you don't. What I'm saying to you
is an idiot.
Yeah. All right, but what I'm saying though, what I am saying to you, two things I'm going to use. I'm going to use two things to deal with that point. Number one, you have no evidence that this coach went and sought out the player that you are talking about. Because once a player has a Jamaican passport, which means that they're a citizen, if they are available, the coach can call and look at them. The coach had this player in his first ever camp for almost 2 months, right? Remember that. Because the coach had the player you're referring to from Austria, playing in the friendlies and all of those games, leading up to the Gold Cup, right? In the Gold Cup, he gave him limited time. If the coach moved away from that, the coach must have seen or have reasons. That's all I'm saying. So unless you hear from the coach, what I'm saying, unless you hear from the coach, this thing where everybody think they have their opinion is right, and we don't know the reasons. We don't know the reasons because unseen may have reasons. Like I am saying, unseen may have reasons. For example, I have a son that he has playing. I don't see the sense of him playing CDM. He believes that he gets a good job out of him out of CDM. I don't agree with it. Do him win with him playing there? I don't think he maximized his potential, but he got the result. At what point do I now move away from, well, he made a decision and it worked? It would be foolhardy of me to say Unseen is an idiot. Mix an idiot coach them there. You understand me? Look, you understand me? An idiot coach them. Because they don't know what them are doing.
But at the end of the day, some people may view this as being small or petty, but it's a big thing because these players coming from England are not cheap. Them get some money and thing. Now, if you hunt a player that is no good,
Something wrong with the recruiting.
something wrong with the recruiting.
Something wrong with the scouts.
No, but why? What I'm saying though is that the coach. Listen, what I'm just saying. All right, listen what I'm saying. From the coach's first major camp, it was in Austria, right? You remember
Yes.
that?
Yes.
He had players that he was looking at. Remember that the coach had not finalized his around one of his interview before the World Cup qualifiers. Here's what the coach said that about the core. So he had built a core of players that he has been working with, right, for a while. At least 11 players the coach has consistently called. All right, whether we agree with that. So let's look at some of them consistently. If Eats and Pinnock is available, he's going to be easier. We agree, right?
Right.
Or we disagree? If we disagree, we can disagree. We agree.
Ethan
Pinnock.
available. He will come.
Yeah.
If he's available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
If Dexter Lembikisa is available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
Right.
If Amari Bell is available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
All right. If Mikel Antonio is available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
Demarai Gray is available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
Leon Bailey is available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
Should be picked.
Andre Blake is available, he's going to be picked.
Yes.
Jamali Wade is available, he's going to be picked as a
Outside
reserve
the-
keeper.
Oh,
The goalkeeper.
I want a goalkeeper. I think. Okay.
Carry
on,
on.
carry on.
Yeah.
Jamali Wade. All right. If Latibodier is fit, he's going to be picked.
If Latibodier is fit to play around the back, then he
No.
should be picked.
Uh,
if he's coming as a midfielder, hell no.
No, he doesn't come as a midfielder. He comes and he plays where the coach
Yeah.
asks him to play. But he's going to once he whether you may not like him in midfield, and I don't. He doesn't probably doesn't like it. But here's what I'll say. However, he is good enough quality to be in this Jamaican team. That's what we're talking about.
Round the back.
It don't matter. You want to put him on the back to the side, it don't matter. Right? But you just don't want him in midfield. But you would
No,
agree
We
that
don't want him in the midfield.
all right. So he's there. All right.
He's
No. Let's so those are 9 names. Damian Lowe has been in part of all of the coaches
Yeah,
selection.
he's supposed to be picked.
Right? All right. So that's 10 names.
Yes.
Right? Whether you believe will be bench or not. Bobby Reed is our next name.
Should be picked.
Right? Go and be there. All right.
Should be,
No.
yeah.
So that is 11 names. Greg Lee as a probably not as a starter if Amari is there, but he is going to be picked once he's
Well,
fit.
we don't really see why I'm up with the pick. We could have used Latibodier as an extra person over there, so. We don't see Lee.
Yeah, I can
Lee,
understand that.
Lee
Yeah.
Nix.
No, sir.
Me disagree with you.
No, sir.
Big time.
He was no
Big time.
quality.
When we score by
But
USA.
You
All right.
guys keep saying that this player is an offensive player, but when he plays, I see he does absolutely nothing.
Greg
going
Lino.
forward.
Greg Lino.
No, the left back him at all.
Yeah, left back.
No, sir. Him not off a pick. Him not off a pick.
No, sir. You are talking about this.
Him not off a pick.
Yeah. All right.
The only time he would have been picked if Bell injured, then maybe
You agree with me that Shamar Nicholson? You agree with me that a fit Shamar Nicholson is a part of the team?
Yes.
All right. So there you go. So that is like 12 players that consistently No, I see.
Somebody have to play it, go.
Eh?
This is somebody I write about Coreyberg. I had them I had them out of my head, you know.
All right.
Coreyberg is not the Coreyberg we know. Theme day is gone.
All right. So the point I'm making is that to be fair to the coach has had a consistent group of players. And if you add like the youngsters that he has used Whisper as a youngster, Kirai as a youngster,
I think
and
Whisper should
Kahim.
be a pick too.
Huh?
I think Whisper should be a pick too.
Whisper, so he has used Whisper, Kirai, and Kahim now as 3 youngsters that he has in the system.
Remember,
Teenagers.
I've been bashed for promoting these youngsters, you know, and now it seemed like the whole burden is going to be placed on these youngsters after they were tossed aside and draw left, right, and center. Now they are being placed under the burden and never given the proper opportunity to really expose themselves and develop. These
Who?
players,
Like who?
one of the
Like
time
who?
here bench him the pan.
Who?
Whisper.
So one at a time, but the only
10
no,
minutes.
man, the only come on now. When Whisper was on the bench, what position would you have started him in?
Right wing.
Instead of Demarai Gray?
No, Demari would have been on the left side. Whisper
And
would
Leon
be on
Bailey,
the
and
right
Leon Bailey.
side.
So when Whisper is on the benches, Leon Bailey was starting. So Leon Bailey should not have been.
No man, one at a time I play Leon Bailey as a second striker.
But Demarai was not when and where was Whisper? That is one game.
He was using
One game.
Antonio and Bailey.
But that was when Demarai was not there. When Demarai came, it was Demarai on one side, Leon on one side, and then remember he had a game where Mikhail got injured, for example. So Bowser played up front because that was the challenge. The challenge was, what do you do when you have Demarai, Leon, Mikhail, Bobby, and Antonio? Because if you play Leon and Demarai Gray on the wing, who do you play as a point forward? You remember we had that issue.
Mm-hmm. But the Nicholson.
So we reverted to 4-4-2 with Antonio and Bowl Shamar playing up front.
And then I got third. Well, maybe not say and then them got turned Antonio in our hurricane. A beer drop, me see hurricane. Antonio dropping a midfield and try to make pass.
That is just a Dominica Republic game though.
Grieve me.
And recently in the Copa.
It grieved me.
Yeah, but remember Antonio started his career as a right winger, doing a lot of those link-up plays.
Him career flourish as a center number 9. A real
You know what
number
I
9.
believe?
Why
You know what
now at 30 I don't want change it?
You know what I believe? I believe Mikel Antonio would be a dynamic number 10 in CONCACAF if he played that drop-off role and do them combination passes.
Let me ask you a question. Why
I'm just saying that
Johnson
that's what
was in the squad? Johnson.
Daniel Johnson.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who I am. I am in the management aspect. As to why the coach don't select a player, that's what I keep on saying. If a coach have you and the coach don't select you, it is like, at what point do you say, listen, I'm going to give the coach the benefit of the doubt? Because listen, it's amazing because the last game that Daniel Johnson played, the Dominica game in Jamaica. Oh my God. Did you look at how social media criticized him? You see when we play the game over in Dominica, did you realize how social media criticized Daniel Johnson? So there's a lot of people saying that he should not be in the side, No, I hear people saying, where is that? Is it that now the game is finished? We never look good. So we say, okay, we Monday morning footballing. We're discussing this thing after the fact. Because even when people are naming the squad leading up to Copa, many people on social media didn't have Daniel Johnson name in their squad.
Man, to me, Daniel Johnson in the World Cup qualifiers, he was underperforming. So me give the coach the benefit of the doubt and say, while Daniel Johnson is not there, it's okay when the squad was selected. But then, when I say John Russell, some start wonder why. Then we have Damian Lowe, and then we have Carrot Anderson as the only, you would say right now, the perfect fit based on what we have to play CDM. And then the coach used two makeshift person, one at 8, one at 6 in the stadium. Now, them thing that confuse me now as a coach now. What type of tactical arrangement them they right now in my head? I wonder what go on, how we gonna play, how we gonna function. You know, how we gonna function when we are transition with the ball, how we gonna function when we are defend. You understand me, with makeshift players I try to shield the back line. So them thing they kind of bother me. So I wonder how we gonna play. So said, so done when the game start. Mexico beat it. Right?
No, but Mexico did not. Oh no, unseen man. Mexico did not beat us because of how the midfield was set up.
Man is man.
Watch the game and unseen.
Say it again. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
say it again. The stats is there. You don't really like the stats thing, because you say stats is
So
not there.
let's go to the stats. What
Right?
in this? What? Let me ask you this. What in
Midfield.
those stats? No, what in those stats in midfield at halftime made you feel convinced that Mexico was going to beat Jamaica?
I never break it down half time. It's a whole game thing, mate. Everything compiled. I never break it down for
All
half.
right. At what point of the game did Mexico score?
Mexico scored in the last part of the game. The
So,
last latter part of the game.
At that point, unseen, how did the team? Because the point I'm trying to make is this: in the Mexico game, right?
Mhm.
People were saying Damian Lowe should not play CDM. He never started. The coach explained that. All right. The team was playing with Deshane Bernard, Eason Pinnock, Lati Bodier, Greg Lee, and also Dexter. That's a Mexico game, right? Right? That's the starting defense. Lati Bodier was coming into midfield on many occasions until the substitution, because many people believe that what changed the game was when Deshane Bernard was substituted, and then I think Hector came on. Many people felt like at that point that shifted because the defense was holding up well. So I don't know if I can use that game to say the midfield wasn't playing well, because Mexico was not breaking Jamaica down and creating chance after chance after chance. In fact, the goal that they scored, they weren't behind the defense. They were in front of the defense. The left back got a ball, and because he's one-footed, he cleared the ball with his right foot right into the middle of the field, after we had given away the ball and a careless throw on the other side. And then they got the set play. So the goal was a sequence of... Yeah.
We always argue with the ball. Jamaica always argue with the ball.
So it was a sequence of error that I don't think, because Daniel Johnson, Damian Lowe had come onto the field at this point when the goal
Daniel Johnson is one of the better ball handler, in my opinion, in Jamaica team. The best ball handler to me is not in the squad. I think that is, I cannot understand that. But Daniel Johnson, because that player, Raval Morris, is not there. Daniel Johnson to me would be the best person in the middle in terms of ball at feet. I don't see what Uno see. You know, some of them players, like all a Casey Palmer. I can't understand it, because him lose the ball 90% of the time. And Uno attack all these things about him a ball is. And me I say, all right, let me be understanding.
Hold on. You remember we do a live and somebody come on and say, Mr. Meeks and Mr. Unseen, give him more time, because Algrim said not playing him in his right position.
But
I would say, all right.
He can't manage the ball. Johnson is a better ball handler. And a reality man. A reality. When you look at some of the players in the middle
So
of the field,
what you're saying,
Lati
Meeks, is that
Bodier to Lati Bodier to me,
you'd have
when
played Daniel Johnson ahead of KC Palmer.
all day. All
Okay.
day.
And me would have played Anderson over KC Palmer. Bobby Reed now defensive midfield. Anytime.
And you'd have played Case Anderson over Kirai Anderson over KC Palmer. So you don't believe that Case you don't believe that KC
in
Palmer then?
defensive midfield.
No. So
Or
if
number
no,
eight.
that means so KC Palmer is not good enough to start for Jamaica then.
In my opinion.
In your
Not
opinion.
good enough,
Okay.
in my opinion. Not
All
good
right.
enough. Average
Okay.
player, in my opinion.
So
Based
KC
on
Palmer is
stats,
average.
he's
Anybody else you think that this man should not be starting for Jamaica?
Who should not be started? Casey
No,
Palmer?
I'm asking. No, that's what I'm seeing said. He said that KC Palmer is an average player, should not be starting.
No, you see. Let me say this to you. Listen, and it's good. I was one of the person who bashed Lati Bodier because I thought Lati Bodier was not good until I realized Lati Bodier went around the back and we see a totally different player. Lati Bodier looked like a different man when he's playing around the back.
calm and collective.
Yeah. Now I am saying I am only tolerating Casey Palmer because he's not playing in his position. But every time I see Casey Palmer in the position, playing midfield, all he does is play back the ball side, play back the ball, lose the ball, nothing else.
Not even one key pass on the game.
And every time you check his stat, he don't make a penetrative or a keeper, nothing. What is this man doing? I mean, no one have the stats which he say, Lord Jesus, after he can't pass the ball forward. Why we Johnson are gonna make something happen? Him are gonna try drive forward and try do something.
So you're saying that Johnson, so you're saying Johnson and Kirai Anderson over KC Palmer. So me just want to get that. So KC Palmer is average, shouldn't anybody else on the team. And no,
I feel that you guys should have put Casey Palmer in his original position. Let us see him play as a top link, and then we can say yes. But as a man who is playing in ID, him not fit left on the field.
Okay, so somebody else said that. So Casey Palmer over Daniel Johnson.
No,
Daniel Johnson over Casey Palmer. Kirai Anderson over Casey. Kirai
in that position.
In this position.
Right, so Kirai Anderson over him. So the only way I'm supposed to play is if he's going to play number 10.
Cool. And
He's supposed to be the third option as a dealing. How the hell he reach there?
Okay. So yeah, man. So we just want to get past that. So KC Palmer is not a starting player for Jamaica then.
As a dealing.
All right. So as a
number 8.
Okay. So as a dealing, he's not a starting player.
No.
As a number 8, he's not a starting player.
No.
Is he a starting player as a number 10?
I can't say because I don't see him.
Yeah.
I'm only here, so he's a good player there. I'm want to see him before we make a judgment.
Just ask, man. We can't go past it. So based on that, KC Palmer should not be starting for Jamaica. All right, bam. Let's move from there.
If he not play number 10, no.
All right. So number 10 is because if you have Dimi and Bailey, then Bobby Reed in there. So him play for Bobby Reed then.
Well, coach decision that.
Right. No, what I'm saying, no man. We are having a discussion. No, you cannot defer to the coach. You want Kirai play over him, you want Daniel play over him. So number 10, does he play over Bobby?
In context, man is man because they have position on the field and each position requires a different role and function.
I'm asking.
Yeah, but you can't ask a question like that. Like there's no factors related to the position. Remember, each position you have a different role. So KC Palmer, according to them, they say that KC Palmer is an attacking player. He plays well at number 10.
I agree.
Right. So let us focus on the position with the players, please.
So that may I say the player who play in that position when you have Dimi and you have Bailey is Bobby. So I am asking you, does he play over Bobby?
Bobby must start. Bobby must start.
So there you go. So we move on. So KC Palmer cannot make the Jamaica starting 11 if the players are there.
Right.
Basically. Then at that, then so we can move on. All right. Is there any other that me just want to find out? Me just
Okay, that's what I find out.
yeah,
Okay.
just that. So he
You come like you
can't
agree with me, you know.
and me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking question. Me want
Kind of like
understand.
agree with you, you know.
Me want understand on the position.
Before, because we're upon the last part of the show, man, is man.
Hey, me depend on the next program. Me depend on Area Feminine, so me need
Yeah,
to go
but
back
was
over.
here.
it.
Hold on, let me ask
Before you go ahead.
Hold on, let me ask you.
Yeah. We want
What
to hear me talk.
thought
You have to check out Area Feminine.
of
What's
Liam
the
Bailey
score?
playing as a 10?
Huh?
What
Oh,
is
you'd have
your
put Leon
view
Bailey
on
as a
Liam
10.
Bailey playing as a 10?
You'd have put Leon Bailey as a 10.
I'm asking you your view.
Leon Bailey as a 10.
Yeah.
I have seen Leon Bailey play as a second striker at Aston Villa. I think he has been most effective when he has played on the outside. His ability to cut in and play, cut in with it and kick with the left, or to stay outside and keep it on the right. I would always want to play him. I think he's a greater threat out there. The only way I play him inside is if I'm playing him as a second striker, like sometimes Unai Emery does with he and Ali Watkins. That's it. But I don't see him playing a number 10. I think Mikel Antonio, if I have a problem in that case, I'd prefer to play Mikel Antonio there. That's just my thought.
And reduce the goal scoring opportunity going forward.
Well,
that is my issue.
So here's what I'm saying. Whether you believe it or not, I will say to people, the most prolific goal scorer right now in the Jamaica team is not Mikel Antonio. The two of them are Shamar Nicholson or Demarai Gray.
Yeah, but Shamar Nicholson is inconsistent.
No, Shamar Nicholson scored 7 goals in 7 games.
Yeah, but he's inconsistent. All right, so the first game can tell us that Shamar Nicholson is inconsistent. Not the core.
What I don't understand, this is why I don't understand. Sometimes we have the conversation, it's like general overtime, and then you're using Shamar now, and you talk about what he did in Copa.
Oh, so I get what you're saying.
So I'm confused because you're talking overall, but when it comes to Shamar now, you're talking about his first game in the Copa, and so everything else he did before that is ignored. But for the rest of the year,
remember, coaching is a very dynamic sport.
So watch this. Before Antonio scored in the Copa, when was his last goal for Jamaica?
Before Antonio
scored in the Copa, when was his last goal?
The World Cup qualifier.
No, Antonio scored in World Cup qualifier.
Huh?
Antonio scored in World Cup qualifier.
Yes, that was his last goal. You know how long that the man was saying it, how much years he not scored for Jamaica. But yet we say Shamar Nicholson, who has scored in the said games, we say that he's inconsistent, which is the problem I have with the argument. I am saying that Shamar, go ahead.
But man, when we look at it on an analytical standpoint, we tend not to look at the variables that may change in game and so on. So I am saying
the analytics and the stats says the most prolific player in the Jamaica team right now is Shamar Nicholson.
Right. And you are so right. But when you come on to the game, as a coach, you look at the game and you say, boy, even though the stats say Shamar Nicholson is the goal scorer, him not do him supposed to do on the field. No, what do I do?
What he's scoring, what you want him to do? This is the only tournament that the man got to want to score.
Right, so what you got to do?
We scored 1 goal, but it's not like we had many goals. We only had 1.
But we had an issue in our attack in the Copa America, man.
But listen what I'm saying. I am saying that we played 3 games and we scored only 1 goal. And you are going to use a player who scored 1 goal to say that player is more consistent than Shamar Nicholson, when every game leading up to that, Shamar scored in it. And then you're saying analytics and stats. But that's all I'm saying.
I am saying that the stats will tell you that, hey, this man is the goal scorer. Yes, okay, go and give him the opportunity. But I'm talking about the in-game decision that the coach must make. No, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not working like how he's supposed to work when he scored the goal. What do you do then as a coach?
So he came out of the Dominica game and he scored. He scored in the Dominica Republic game. So before that, he scored in the Canada game. He scored in the Canada game away. He scored in the Dominica Republic game. He scored in the Dominica game. All right. So the next game now, you're saying that put him on the bench.
No, I'm not saying that. I am saying give him the opportunity.
So
But
he
watching him playing.
So he plays in the first game. All right. He plays in the first game. The second game, he plays. The third game, he is on the bench. So me not understand all I'm saying.
When we say mechanisms a scenario, make you understand what I say. All right. So for example, you have Mr. Meeks a play centre forward for your team. Prairie FC. Cool? Mr. Meeks a play centre forward. Mr. Meeks are your leading goal scorer for your team. Coming up to the quarterfinal round with 4 teams, 3 matches at the quarterfinal. All right. Mr. Meeks' first game in the quarterfinal round, him off. Nothing now go for him way. You're the coach and you see everything and you see him not perform like I'm supposed to perform in the game. The question is, when do you now make a decision and try to change to get somebody else to score?
You had 3 games. He played 1 full game. He was substituted in the second game, and you didn't start him in the third game. What I'm saying is that what you wanted the coach to do then is not to give him any game at all.
No. So what I'm saying, what the problem I have with you, with what you're saying is when you said that Michael Antonio, you put him at the 10 and then stop your you like you shoot yourself in your hand, have one and a fight with. Not the game.
Oh, no.
That's what you're saying.
No.
That we have an issue with.
So Meeks was asking about putting Leon Bailey. I said to him that I prefer Leon Bailey. If we're going to do that, it is if we're going to play him like Aston Villa as a second striker in that position. I went on to say I would prefer to see Mikel Antonio playing in that number 10 position because of his ability to connect up the play. He has a way that he turns his body with the ball. So that's what I am saying. I am saying that is what Shamar needs. You have fine, which is fine. It's just an opinion. What I am saying though is that how many chances did Shamar Nicholson get that you can say, listen, the team created these opportunities and set it up for him?
World Cup qualifiers. Goal.
Like, listen, unseen. May you talk now? Because you see, there are persons who honestly them have an issue. So that's why I am wrong, sport. Me don't want them listen to me because me don't know nothing. Them have all the information. Me wrong, bossy. No, listen to me. Listen to Unseen. Listen to Unseen. Shamar Nicholson going into Copa scored in 7 consecutive games for Jamaica. Are you saying, me ask on this, coming into the first game, should the coach bench him?
You can't bench a leading scorer.
So what is his problem? The coach started him. Right? The second game that he played, he was substituted. The third game, he did not start. So what then the coach needed to do? Obviously, you don't want the coach, you never call him in the team, none at all. Me not understand. I mean, me don't talk, brother, because I don't understand. Me not understand what I'm trying to say. The man scored 7 goals in 7 games, and then you're saying the coach didn't start him in 1 game, took him off in 1 game at halftime, and then the first game, him start him. And then people still are complaining. Like you're saying that.
I think it linked with the two
man, if you come out and say you don't want him in the Jamaica team, say that.
No, we're not going to say that. We're not going to say that. No,
I'm not supposed to start me on the team. So what I say then? Me not understand.
All right, so this is what me I say, man. Me personally think football-wise, Al Grimson, game management.
Shamar scored. I'm going to talk about Shamar. Shamar scored against USA. Shamar scored goals for Jamaica against Mexico. Shamar scored goal against Canada. Shamar scored goal against Panama. Every top team in CONCACAF. Shamar Nicholson has scored against. And no man come tell me about Shamar Nicholson score against Dominica. Like him not score against Mexico. Like him not score against Costa Rica before. Like him not score against Panama. Like him not score against Suriname. You name the top team them in score against them. So you don't want him drop, just say that he should not be in Jamaica team. But don't tell me based on record that he should not be there. Simple as that.
You're right in that, man. But more, just want to understand when I come off with the coaching part, right? You understand me? But when you explain it and you say, oh, the coach that see it, so you kind of take him off and don't start him for the last game. So, yeah.
No, hold on. You know my problem with Shamar Nicholson? I give him all his props. I think he, in my opinion, is the best center striker we have now. But what I felt the coach did, the coach played him too long in the first. Play him not supposed to have played so long. You want Shamar Nichols to go out and give you a nice 60, 70 minutes. And then you rest him again and get him ready again for the next game.
Mix. Let me tell you why I agree with you. Because you see, sometimes like people always remove context from things. I want people to check when Shamar got holiday. So let me give you some things. Shamar and these guys, and even Cephas, were on earlier breaks than the players. Shamar Nicholson had to come to Jamaica and be by the Captain Horace Burrell Center night after night just to keep him fitness. Because his season never goes long, and he was in a team that struggled in France. Same thing with Cephas. So you can understand these guys coming into even the World Cup qualifiers. Remember, it's one of the games Antonio played and went back, These guys had to regain their fitness. You understand me? So we have to sometimes, we forget that if it wasn't for Shamar Nicholson, we wouldn't even be at the Copa. And all of a sudden, that is dismissed to the point where we are saying that him only can score against small teams. And this is the man who scored the goal to allow us the opportunity to be in the Copa. And my thing is, I'm not saying he had the best tournament. But again, coming into the tournament, what reason would the coach have to not play him? That is my question.
I don't see a reason. As a top scorer, you must play. That's just the only issue I had. I don't think he should be playing so long in so many games. That's the only issue.
But what about the link, though? I think people have problem with the link with the two same type of players starting the game. Michael Antonio and Bowser. Two robust, jump and buck the ball and physical players starting at the front. No little, what I call it now, creativity and splash flair. And dash and flair and ray. What's your take on that?
Hey,
Mr. Wrong, let us talk.
Yeah. I believe it's a something else in the boss. And
run.
All right, so let me just say this, right? People, sometimes the interaction, Ansi, and I'm gonna come back to even your team, right?
Yes.
Because I know you have to deal with parents and mix, and parents have one idea about what they think will be best, but you do something and it work, and the parents don't come back to you and say, boy, say it's a good decision you make. But yes, when it don't work, them come to you and say, yo, you're a fool because you play me son, so blah, 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 you play me nephew. You have all kids at your level who leave all the school and go to a different school because they don't agree with you. You know how the football is. So watch this. You know that you have players that they want to make a difference, that they will be the one. Listen, I will even play out of position. I want you to understand that Shamar Nicholson, watch the Mexico game, was playing as a right winger at the beginning of the game. Watch the game, and look where he was playing. Right? Look at it. Remember, he was playing on the right wing because Dexter was on that side. Just watch the game. He was playing a lot more to the right side because then he had Dimmy on the other side. Right? So though it looked like he played with two forward as pivot, Mikel Antonio was really inside in the Mexico game. He just wasn't getting enough ball in there. And so sometimes when people see that, the first thing you say is that he's not playing good. But you must also understand, like Latibody here, he was also playing out of position. That is why when the substitution was made, you know who came off? Mikel. And what happened? Shamar did what? Went inside in his true position. So sometimes playing out of position affects how you are viewed by the people. But you can't tell the coach, you now play this up. So what you do, tell the coach, yo, me now play this up. Me I come off for this.
So that's why it becomes a coach issue now. The coach are gonna get their blame for the bad tactical decision management. Right?
Let me
Means?
ask you something, management. As a man with the experience, you have been around the national team. Because I believe that we have a lot of coward as administrators. And when they're going to play a certain team, everybody to me just seem to panic and everybody seem to lost their way and not thinking straight. Because when the way we play, you can see the tension and the nerviness in everything. Give us a better understanding as to a planning, a preparation for a big game from an administrative perspective.
Administrative. I think when it comes on to game day, a lot of it is not like the administration is, because you do it so often, like the administration is smooth. Like especially for Copa that is so organized. There are no administrative issue that you'd say affect the team in terms of its performance. What I do know is this, that I think it would have served Jamaica better as a national team if we had the same kind of preparation like every other team in Copa. Most of the teams were in camp and playing a lot of practice games in Copa. Jamaica had World Cup qualifiers, right? Which that took place, and after that, the players kind of got some days off, like 4 or 5 days off. I think in retrospect, if we were building, say, a group of domestic players, right? When we play the first game, which is a tougher game against Dominica Republic, those players should have been the players who are going to be at the Copa. Because I think what happened to us is that we had one team for the Dominica Republic game, basically a next team for the Dominica game, and then a next squad for the Copa. And I think if we had kept one team for the Dominica Republic game, get a group of solid players that we would have been working with to play the Dominica away game, and those who were going to go to the Copa, they leave and go to the Copa after the DR game and start the preparation, I think that possibly would have helped to make everything come together. Because remember that East and Pinnock, for example, was not at the Nations League. You remember that, right? Antonio was not at the Nations League, right? Then you had like KC Palmer, who was not at. So some of the players, though they have been in the team,
every day. Him don't need no break. Him need to get the understanding.
No, what I'm saying is that a lot of the players were playing with each other, like in this setting for the first time, because when this one is at the camp, this one is not there, that one is not there.
Question. When you say they get day off, what you mean? They get active day off or
no, man. Remember after we played in Dominica Republic, the team did not assemble again until the 16th.
Well,
so
that is an administration bad decision.
No, how is that? The administration can call players to camp.
If you have a tournament coming up and you're playing now, why you can't? If you said earlier that other teams in Copa,
but that is
games, and what you're going to say? Money was the issue.
No, sir. You're a coach.
Why
sir.
we could have keep the team together? And
listen. You know why we couldn't do it? It could have been. So I just said to you, in retrospect, that probably should have been a decision taken. But because the team, I said it to you. So the coach had a World Cup qualifier. So the coach said, listen, now that we have played, because remember, like this is the thing with the conversations. We don't remember anything. We just go from where we're there. We don't remember nothing. Remember, the coach called his full Copa squad for the World Cup qualifiers. And many players didn't turn up. Remember that Antonio, East and Pinnock, remember a lot of guys didn't come for the World Cup qualifiers. So what the coach had to do was call a different group of players for the World Cup qualifiers. Ideally, what he wanted was to have them from there, so you'd have the camp leading up. Because remember, the team was in camp leading up to the World Cup qualifiers, right? Because that was a plan. The players who were going to go to Copa didn't come, so he called up a lot of players. That is why you had like the Fabian Reed and the Adrian Reed and the Gadiel Irwin and all of these guys were called up. All of these guys were called up, but for
So
different reasons.
I didn't know that persons can be called up and they can arbitrarily just decline
But
it
who
and
says
then
arbitrary?
when they're ready.
You
You
have
never
a, you
know
have a different.
everything.
You have a different. You have a different. So you have a different conversation, you know, because you're gonna say the words that we are use. You are come up with them words there. So you call a player, East and Pinnock. Didn't you see a list, Meeks, man? We're gonna go back over them, I think, man.
No, man. Me understand that some players will have genuine issue why they cannot.
Didn't you see a list with East and didn't you see a list when the World Cup team came up that they even took down? You remember Unseen with 6 players that were injured, sir? You saw that. So I'm saying that we keep forgetting. No, man, we have to run, man, because
you bring up an important issue. So when a team is being called, a background is not done to check if a player injured.
Yeah, Meeks, you go over. Listen, first you said the people of them arbitrarily chose not to come. Me tell you that
I was asking if that is an issue. I never stated. I am saying
listen,
if persons are called, I didn't know that they can arbitrarily just not turn up and it's just okay. That's what I wasn't saying. I was asking.
So players have reasons. It's up to you to determine whether you believe that it is right. So East and Pinnock, for example, he was forced back by his club because they were battling. All of these things I'm saying, all of this information was out there. All of this was discussed. All of this was said publicly by the coach. All of these things. East and Pinnock club called him back early. When he came back, his treatment got swollen. So he said, listen, I need some additional time to recover. That is what happened. So they gave him.
I'm
giving you one. You want me to give you more?
No, management. I wasn't asking you to put in detail. I was just making a statement that said I thought that when a person is called, then if they have a reason, a rational reason.
Seriously, me have to go. Me up on the next program and all them need me. Them need me live.
Right. All right.
Big up.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
So Unseen, going forward, I think the Jamaican team just need an identity. I think our playing style, it's just not attracting people to come out and support. This long ball thing just not gonna work. I think some of the players just not good enough.
So fix the midfield.
The midfield. Play first thing is first. Play persons in their rightful position. That is the first thing. Let there be no room for excuses to fail. Because when a player fail, the first thing he can say is that I am not playing where I should be playing. So you want to eliminate that. So if Jamaica has this tendency, you see, if the team is playing and there's an issue, say at the number 10 position, they don't look on the bench and say who they brought for that position as reserve. You know what they know? Move somebody and start patch all around. Then why pick other players?
Why mix?
That's what we cannot understand.
When we look back and evaluate Kabi, right? I'm go back and look at even the Latibore situation. And then when we go reason we want to coach them, work with the national team. You must say to me, say, well, the coach, trust Latibore in the midfield position. Random time, you know, we shouldn't say a problem, you know. Red flag.
Trust him.
Red flag.
Trust him for door.
Red flag.
You win the ball and I make life for you.
Tactically, Grimson is not that type of person. He's not.
So what do you think is best for us to get though?
That's the $1 million question.
You know, I heard a rumor. I don't know if I can mention it, but I heard a rumor about a former um, Chelsea coach,
What's his name? Pochettino.
Pochettino.
What's his first name?
Mauricio.
Mauricio Pochettino.
Mauricio. If that happened, I would be so happy
Why?
because Pochettino has shown over the years to be a coach that balance the attack and the defense. Unfortunately, he didn't win in England, but he won in France, and he has done good. And I think Jamaica needs a coach like that because when you look at, say, we bring a Hutchinson to Jamaica to play, a Demari Gray, a Dujan Whisper, a Shamar Nicholson, a Bobby Reed, a Reese Nelson. What the backside we are going to defend and play long ball go do? That can't play for them the players there. Them the players there need ball a foot and run and something with substance.
So we never get to ask his man about the coach and thing. But we might back him up a different day and ask.
I think I've been watching social media and I've seen a lot of person bashing Miguel Coley, and
Even coming onto the program and saying he's a fitness coach.
I can't understand.
He's not tactical. He
I
doesn't do the
cannot
tactical part of the
understand.
game.
Yeah, you see.
It baffles me.
If it was up to members within Jamaica, Miguel Coley would not reach where he is
Conrad
today.
Smith is one of them. Conrad Smith, yes. Conrad Smith said
Miguel Coley
is
would
fit
not
for the
be,
match, yeah.
but Miguel Coley was selected by an international coach
With lot
who
of pedigree.
came here and saw him as being fit to be a part of his coaching staff.
Leadership.
Yeah. That is how Miguel Coley reached in the national team. It wasn't a local person select Miguel Coley and say, you go. No. It's somebody who did not know Miguel, saw what he was doing, like what he was doing, and say, hey, this is the man I want. That man, Winford Schaefer, even left Jamaica and took Miguel with him.
How the job for bigger than him? And him was there.
Miguel Coley have
Yeah, understand.
experience in the national setup already.
So how him not bigger than him? And at the easiest way now for God World Cup. At the easy and 3/4 of the man within the national team now Miguel Coley coach him already.
No, look at this now. How is it that they are saying that Miguel Coley not the head coach of the team now?
Miguel Coley coach Hector.
Yeah.
Miguel Coley coach Leon. Yeah,
No.
No, in coach Leon Blake.
In coach Hector.
In coach Hector.
In coach Lowe.
In coach Andre Blake.
Lowe too.
Low.
Yeah. In coach, I think
Bobby Reed. Junior Flemings.
Junior.
What
In
do you call
coach
it?
them people, yeah.
And look how much talent. And then people are going to say, all right, what can I use schoolboy football? But isn't 5 titles something to speak about? And me never care what nobody wants to say. It is our best elite youth competition in Jamaica. All who I talk about schoolboy football this and schoolboy football not. Them a send players go to them alma mater school. Them a send players there. Them a watch the schoolboy football and everything. So this is so hypocritical thinking of our people that govern the sports in Jamaica. You understand me? Them a talk about schoolboy football can't talk, but why the hell them a fund it then? Why the hell them a put in work in it and send the youth them there them a play football? Answer that question them. Then them say you can't use it.
That is what they are trying to make a criteria that is just suitable for them.
The argument.
Yeah, but the criteria is every Jamaican coach from history was based on success within the local, whether you coach at the Premier League level or the school level. So why is it that this coach achieved at that level, but you cannot use that? That's
You know much coach
crazy.
that want to win 5 cycles.
5 consecutive titles.
5 consecutive school. Then straight into the national.
Then straight overseas.
No,
Then he's a pro license coach.
Then no, the overseas accolades is not even better than winning the JPL in Jamaica. You get the bias, and then now they adding on things and saying that he's a fitness coach.
And see, Miguel Coley is a pro license coach. I think the highest qualification that a Jamaican coach have is a A license.
And it's a Trinidad and Airlines.
A Trinidadian A license. I think Rudolph Speed, Theodore Whitmore, and some others have
Doing
that.
it now. Doing it now.
Doing it now. Have it. Exposed to that level. Miguel Coley exposure is above that. Miguel Coley is a pro license coach. Now, how is it that he's not qualified for the job?
Ronnie M90, are you listening? Are you listening? You don't listen and put things in context. Nobody said that US and Canada hiring a schoolboy coach. Nobody said Jamaica should hire a schoolboy coach. He passed that level. I'm talking about when he was in Jamaica doing his coaching and what he has won in Jamaica. At the level, you need to put things in context. Come on, man. We're reasoning here. Right?
So how is it that some people say that Rudolph Speed would be qualified for the job? If Rudolph Speed is qualified and is competent to do something, do that job, why is it that Miguel Coley is not able to do that job? That's a
The argument. Yeah.
Because let us break it down. Personally, for me, I think both coach has something to offer. But personally, for me, I would look at it. Miguel Coley more qualified than Speed. Why? Miguel Coley have more international exposure than Rudolph Speed. Two, right? Locally, when Miguel Coley was here, he was one of the top coaches here, right? In recent time, now let's backtrack because people will say all these madness about club this and club that. How many schoolboys are able to move from high school and currently playing in the Premier League as starting players and main players? A lot of them. Now you're telling me that coaches within the school system is so unaware, so dumb and foolish that they can just do as they like, and as soon as they're finished, the clubs can scrape up them. Who prepare those players? Now the same idiots them when call say them a coach.
True.
So how is it that the club can take them and play them and say they are ready and this and that, but then you're gonna tell me say that coach not have no use? Now that coach bring him to a program and set him up and put him in to the level where somebody can see him and say, hey, we need a young player there. So that argument is vague and foolish to me.
Yeah, man, foolish.
It's dumb.
It's dumb.
If you look at apart from Mount Pleasant, who doesn't play a lot of youngsters, and Humble Lion, who don't play youngsters. Which other team? Mount Pleasant, Humble Lion, Tivoli currently don't have a lot of youngsters either. But look at Dumby Holding, look at Arnett Garden, look at Cavaliers. Enough youngsters. So you're telling me that these youngsters just sit somewhere in their villages and watch TV?
Wouldn't believe, please.
Yeah?
Help one didn't believe.
Uno?
One.
It don't even matter what budget. Jesus Christ, you give me an idea.
Explain to them what badges, where you got courses and you do.
The badges do not make you a good coach.
Wait, do then?
No, that is true. That is true.
It's not true. It's not
the
true.
Badges don't make you a good coach.
Of course, the badges help you to be a good coach.
Hold on, that's your belief.
Helps you. You know, have to take what you learn and apply. A lot of these coaches don't change their ways after them come out of the coach.
But they have the badge, so the badge wouldn't make him a good coach.
Huh?
The badge wouldn't make that coach a good coach.
People,
Unseen and El Futura don't agree on this. I believe that if you have a badge, it's a good starting point. However, not all coaches go through a course will be successful. It depends on how the coach interprets his knowledge and transfer that knowledge to his players. and not all coach will make that transition. From the minute a coach can be successful at any level, that indicates that that coach has some level of understanding to take his or her beliefs and impart it on some players and get them to play some level of respectable football to gain success. How many coaches do coaches course out here? How many coaches win a title? So but when you 1-1,
1-1.
1-1, you have some point, but I think your point is going into a direction that is untrue.
It's
Bigger
like
goal.
1-1 saying that. It's like 1-1 saying that anybody can go down the road of coach one team.
No, me not agree. Me
That is
not
what 1-1
agree.
saying. That is wrong. You have to go to school, you have to go learn the thing, brother. What you say? Two the man have a pro license, him no good.
Remember,
And the
say you
man
have
got
to
a pro
pass.
license
You have to
agent.
pass each level for your go up, and you can't just go up.
1-1 a
So
pro license, the man doing a 1-1. Think
May-
everybody get a chance to do the pro license as a
maybe no.
Jamaican.
You have a pro license, then before that you'd do a A license. Before that you'd do a B license. Before that you'd do a C and
Before
D.
C or D.
So there's a lot of steps. You're telling me that somebody go through all of that process and have no sense? No, sir. I don't believe that. Because many people try to do these courses and can't pass. Remember that? So Unseen, what's your final thing?
I think that the coaching aspect. I think that we should select a coach that can manage the dressing room, manage his players emotionally. Um, Somebody who will put us on the front foot. Don't panic and don't afraid to play the attacking style of football. Playing blocks. So at 30 minutes here, we're going to play attack, going to go out for this team. If we get the goal, then we can go balance, or we can go semi defensive or ultra defensive, whatever the case may be in the scenario or at the time of the game. And that's how we need a coach that can manage the game, when to make a tactical change, when not to make a tactical change, um, when to see that this player is not performing in that era. Can we make a change now? Because that coach now comes in will have a limited amount of time to get the ground, get things going for us. Because if you come in and losing first two World Cup qualifying games, we're in a problem. Not true. So they need to come in and get the ground running. So these are the things that he has to come with. An
So
aggressive mentality in terms of tactical
Speed and his
attacking
committee
play.
need to make a decision quickly and move forward quickly.
Yes, and aggressive, mindset in terms of attacking tactical plays. Also incorporating defensive solidity as well. So and then now the off the field management thing, which I think Speed and his crew did a lot. So yeah, I think he's doing well. Big up Ansi, my time soon come again. September around the corner. Okay, Shane Billings. Easy. Big up Shane, big up Shane, big up Shane. Yeah, so that I believe, and I believe that Pochettino is a good look. Speed can go that far to get him. I don't think we have the money, but I think we have the cars to get him. I think we have the cars to get these big coach. We don't have the money.
If
We have
we
the
get
cars.
if we get Pochettino, automatically some players who never consider or who's eligible to play for Jamaica
Yeah.
will even start to consider looking to play now. So I, I'm of the view that Whisper would be an important part of his puzzle because he has a high respect for Whisper. And my philosophy, I like attacking football, and I think Jamaica has the capability to play that brand of football. When you look at the players we have currently and potential players who can come in, such as Omari Hutchinson, um, Reese Nelson, I don't think we should be playing a defensive structure. When I look at CONCACAF, yes, we have some teams who tactically are ahead of us, in my opinion, such as Panama. Tactically, they look not tactically, technically they are better. But I think with practice and consistency of style of play, we're supposed to be able to compete with those teams and beat those teams and beat those teams consistently. And because of our negative style of playing, we always allow teams to stand a chance to beat us. And once a team has some level of competence, beating us will not be a difficult thing. And we have to just call a spade, and we have to just wake up and recognize where we are now and what we need to do to move forward. That is where we are. Jamaica cannot play a type of football that we just sit and play this long ball. We have been failing at it for years. It is time we just cut that style, right? It is time now. So, people, that is our take. That is our view. You know, we always express ourselves and tell you how we honestly feel. We don't dress it. We get bashing left, right, and center. But you have realized that quite a bit of things that we have said has come true. Persons like Whispers, as well. Persons like, well,
Kyle Dixon.
yeah, Kaim Dixon. I think Malachi Douglas should be in this squad,
Should take
working
a look in.
from from a year ago now, working in himself into the team. And we just have to be brave. These youngsters have the ability to learn and have the ability to improve. And some of the players that we are getting from overseas are not the best. And we need to accept that. When we are recruiting, recruit persons who would
People
improve.
that
Not
scope them
recruiting
like
just recruit person because they're playing a league and they have a Jamaican passport. So, anyways, remember the thing: Unseen Sports TV, El Fatura Academy. You
I'm sure
must,
sports.
I am sure sports. You must subscribe, share, and like. Any final word, Unseen?
Big up the people in the comment section. Shane Billings, Conrad Smith. You don't know one will come in and talk. You know, Travis Spencer. You don't know Jean Pierre fan. You don't know early B. Like a early in the morning thing. You understand me? Shane Billings again, who this are? Caribbean Rivers, you come drop a one text. All the people who are listening and now comment big up on yourself too. Safe Fans TV. Don't know people go over Safe Fans and subscribe. You understand me? Go keeping information over there. So go over there and subscribe and listen. Lennon Henry, big up yourself. You don't know. Father Bling, up and running. Ronnie M90, big up yourself. Auntie Sport yourself, big up. You hear that? Yeah, man. You don't know Elvis Coley, my blood brother. Big up yourself. You don't know. Yeah, man. Sean Sutherland, big up yourself. One and C. Cham 6, Weddy. Forward Progressive, big up yourself. Mr. U90, one name called um, Reggae Boyz Community. You don't know, big up yourself too as well. You don't know. One double Reggae Boyz Community. Yeah. Travis Pesser, always come with some points. Wednesday, big up yourself, Wednesday. You understand me? Affection Marathon, big up. Team Aggressive,
John Marley.
big up. John Marley, big up. You don't know, I think all of that. And no, brain drain, you don't know, say help Pesser with one word. You know, you help Pesser with the big word them still, you know? Yeah, man. Pesser, I show, I brain drain help with the big word them. Again, big up everybody, and I hope everybody is recovering. Everybody's okay now, getting light and water, and they're okay. If you're not, you just have to just put in some work, and just believe in God and pray. You understand me? Ask for help, ask for help, and you get it. You understand me, people? Yeah, man. Always believe in God. Put God first, right, Mix?
Right?
All right. Ansi Sports TV and El Futuro Sports. We
We're
are
out.
OUT. Big up on yourself, people. I'm out.